Hello everybody, Maria from Be Fab, Be You. Woohoo! This is your health and wellness and fitness coach, and today I am going to take the time to celebrate the World PCOS Day with you. So what is PCOS? PCOS is an acronym for Polycystic Ovary Syndrome. So obviously Polycystic Ovary Syndrome only impacts the women. Yay, more to women, right? Yes, I know. So why is that an important thing to discuss? First of all, awareness on PCOS is very poor. Two is it's a syndrome, it's a disease that impacts 10 to 15% of the women and girls because it starts at teenage years with sometimes their first menstrual cycle, and I'm going to speak more about it. And most of the women don't know. The health consequences, I'm going to give you the top few, okay, which you're going to be, oh my goodness, really? First one is fertility, because of this multiple or polycysts in the ovary. So fertility is an issue. A lot of women can have children, a lot of women cannot have children. They go on without having children. And a lot of women try for many years and eventually they get a son, unfortunately don't. So fertility is number one. Obesity is number two. It is very predominant in women with PCOS. About 90 to 95% of the women with PCOS are obese, and about 5 to 10% are called the skinny PCOS women. They have all the other symptoms, but the weight is not reflected on the weight. Other things that are impacted by that are they have more acne. They have more facial hair. They have male symptoms, not symptoms, but they get bald over here. So it's not symptoms, it's the characteristics of a lot of men, right? They age and they get bald. So that happens with women also at younger age, and we're going to discuss why. So I talked about obesity, I talked about fertility, I talked about facial hair, acne, prediabetes, insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular risks, cancer. You can see it's a cascade, a snowball of issues. Now, this is some of these concerns obviously as visible, others are not. So can you just imagine if you're a man watching this and a woman who does not have PCOS, what this extra weight would cause for you mentally, what actually going years a lot of times without knowing what you have, and you try this and that and everything else, and you cannot get it. So it plays a big role, an internal stress that creates for women, but also then depression, mental illness, and emotional concerns from depression to mood, to obviously overwhelm, to sometimes even anxiety, a lot of anxiety because of the things that are going on. So there's a lot of other concerns related to repercussions, of this disease. And unfortunately, there is no cure. So why am I doing this today? Why do I care? Well, I care, first of all, I care about people. Two is I work with a lot of women, and I have had the pleasure to speak at the PCOS Symposium, for the last 2 years, and I'm speaking again, and I'll talk more about the PCOS Symposium in Orlando coming up in 21 days, okay? But going back to what PCOS is, so now you understand some kind of the symptoms and consequences. All this, and what I didn't say also is that the fatigue in most of the women is predominant as well. And you say, why the fatigue? Well, because of the insulin resistance part of it too. So how are women diagnosed with PCOS? Well, it's called by the Rotterdam Consensus. This was back in 2003, I believe. And women who have some of the symptoms that I'm about to describe, if they have 2 out of 3 that it's good for a diagnosis, right? They're diagnosed. So one is they have delayed ovulation, or delayed, or they miss menstrual cycles. So hence, hint goes back to a young girl, right? When they're having, their first menstrual cycle, and they hit or miss, and so on and so on. So that's number one. Two is they have extra, or high androgen hormones, especially testosterone. And then the other is they do an ultrasound, and they see, the doctors are able to see through the ultrasound multiple cysts, hence the Polycystic Ovary Syndrome. So if you have 2 out of these 3, then you're probably going to be diagnosed with PCOS. Now, there's no cure. So how the women with PCOS do live their lives? It's a fight. Every day is a fight, but they don't give up, right? So they work on managing the disease until we find a cure. And how is this management? Then we go back to managing in things that I kind of help them through, and you might be able to see over here, hopefully, is, this is the pyramid of health, and we have pillars of health, and I help, I'm very knowledgeable, and I kind of want to call an expert on the insulin resistance part of it and blood sugar management. So this is, a lot of the women with PCOS, the numbers vary, but anything between 50 to 70% have insulin resistance. They are insulin resistance, which causes all this fatigue, risk for diabetes, excess weight, belly fat, then, brain fog, and several other consequences of insulin resistance. Now coupled with, the extra androgens, or testosterone, with the acne, the facial hair, and the baldness, so this is a concern, right? So I help them to kind of manage this through their, nutrition, through their sleep, to their stress, having more fun, exercise. So things that are more specific for insulin resistant in PCOS in that case. By the way, I have a lifestyle booty camp for PCOS coming up in October 17th. So anyway, I wanted to tell you about this because it is an important cause that we have to be aware. We have to celebrate today the World of PCOS, or World Day PCOS, right? Also, the month of September is the month for PCOS, and also I'm raising money to help the PCOS Challenge organization, which is a non-profit organization. Any donations that you do are going to go to help with grants, are going to help with studies, are going to help with lab testing. It's going to help the whole progress of finding a cure for PCOS. And I really would appreciate you keep an eye for the women in your life. If you're a man, sometimes, like I said, a lot of women, they don't know they have it. And you ask me, how is that possible? So let me go back to that for a second. Well, all this starts with the menstrual cycle. So a lot of teenagers, right? The moms notice that the cycle is not normal. Then they take to the doctor. Unfortunately, the first thing that the doctor is going to do at a young woman like that is put in birth control to regulate the cycles. Right? Unfortunately, a lot of the folks in the medical community are not very, aware or really not in tune so much with PCOS. So go into the birth control. So the women start developing as a young lady, and they start seeing the weight pile up and go from one birth control to another. Oh, maybe this is not working. Maybe this is helping me gain weight. And then they start gaining more weight. So the consequences mentally start, the anxiety, the potential depression, obviously the obesity, the fight to okay, it's all about the food. It's all about what am I doing wrong? So it all becomes like, what am I doing wrong? And go on, and this continues for many years, a lot of times, until they try to get pregnant. And that is when the S hit the fan, right? Because then the fight becomes more intentional, and eventually they go from doctor to the doctor. A lot of the clients, a lot of the people with PCOS, and including my clients, they go through, 3, 4, 5 doctors until they're finally diagnosed. Hence the importance of the PCOS awareness, month, and all the efforts to raise this awareness also in the medical community. So they can, these doctors who are there to help people feel better, right, can help them into the good direction. So at least you know what's going on, and you can take better, more focused and intentional direction to get healthier, right? Again, no cure, but you can be healthier. Yes, it's going to be a fight. Yes, but you know what? We're every day over here, so let's treasure the day we have, and let's celebrate, because life is a gift. So yes, we all have concerns, and women with PCOS, I put my heart to them. Luckily, I don't have it, and I feel very grateful for not that, but I also feel grateful to be able to help them. So that's my contribution back to the world of PCOS and women in that respect. Eventually, like I was saying, the women get diagnosed, and some of them have babies, others unfortunately don't, but it becomes a journey. A lot of fertility doctors say you got to lose weight first, you got to control your hormones a little better before you can put even into some fertility process to get pregnant. So can you imagine? This is not an easy thing, right? But help me to help this day to be a better day for women with PCOS. Help to, start asking questions, start spreading the word about it, and have compassion to others, because it is compassion what they need. Is one of the things they need, to be understood, and also the support to say, yes, I'm doing the best I can. There's a lot of resources, and now let me share a little bit about the resources. So PCOSchallenge.org is an incredible organization. Sasha, the CEO and founder of this nonprofit, she's got PCOS herself, and she decided years ago to take this into her own hands. And she lives and breathes PCOS. She even got like a resolution passed in Congress. I mean, this is an amazing woman with giving all she's got to other women into the cause, and that's beautiful. So I'm doing this for the women, for clients of mine who have PCOS, for all the women that have it and don't know that they have it. But hopefully this has kind of raised a little. If you have some of the symptoms that I described, you kind of maybe go and check it, with your doctor, especially if you're having a lot of issues losing weight. And menstrual cycle was a problem back then, and you are in birth control for many years to regulate and so on. The earlier that you catch this, at least you understand what it is, the best and more specific actions you can take. So PCOSchallenge.org. And also there is an amazing event which I'm very honored and proud to be part of it. It's called the PCOS Symposium. The last couple of years I've been here in Atlanta, Georgia. This year is going to be in Orlando, Florida. And actually this picture over here is that from the PCOS Symposium that I was speaking there. And my topic is an amazing topic that I'm very passionate about. Is exercise and the impact on insulin sensitivity and mental health. So it's going to be an amazing talk, but then you have amazing speakers and experts on this. There is great doctors, naturopaths, and some nutritionists that also focus on PCOS. They're going to be giving talks as well. I also would like to give a plug to Dr. Fiona. I love her book. And I highly recommend, if you have PCOS or if you're a doctor, or a health professional, you might want to check it out. Anyway, I put it close to the camera over here. So Dr. Fiona, she's one of the speakers. I met her in 2016. Her book is amazing. I give them to some of my clients, my clients with PCOS. I have a couple copies left. over here, but you can find them in Amazon as well. So just look for Dr. Fiona and 8 steps to reverse your PCOS. She's amazing, very inspiring, very knowledgeable, and it's a good source for you to have or to give as a gift for a woman with PCOS. So last but not least, I want to tell you that I am raising money for the cause. I'm raising, I put my intentions to raise $1,000, and the money goes to great things. I think I spoke a minute ago about it. So I would appreciate your donation, and that will help me to help them. And it doesn't matter if you have PCOS or if you know little, you can learn more about it. But it's really going to help these women, you know, for us to find the cure, help studies and grants and lab testing and things like that, and much more. And the awareness, you know, all these things that Sasha is doing is to really help the progress of you know, this disease, right? It's progress in the good direction of helping to find a solution. That's what I mean with that. So I look forward for your donation. Doesn't matter the amount. I will put this on the link below, so you can check it out. Spread this video around. I would appreciate that too. And stay tuned. You can check befabbu.com. That is BEFABBEYOU.com. I'm starting, I'll be doing a challenge actually, but then I'll also be doing a 6-week online program called the Lifestyle Booty Camp for PCOS. That's going to start in October, but stay tuned for that. You can reach out or ask me questions more about it. I'll start promoting very soon. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this. Thank you very much for sharing the information with others. I hope this was a good awareness to you and a way for you to help promote. Thank you for being here, and I'm so grateful to be part of this cause, to help the world to be a healthier place so we can live life to the fullest. And that takes one step at a time, and it starts also putting our intentions early in the day. So I'm very big into that, and just know, don't be a robot every day. You know, wake up, think, plan about your day, because that's the way that day is going to go according to what you want instead of what others want. And that is one of the most important steps you can do for your health and wellness. More information about me, again, check it at befabbu.com, or you can always reach me at 770-835-5490. And cheers to PCOS. And I hope I'll see you also in September 27th.